Welcome to Polymer Clay TV. I'm Elisa, and today I wanted to show you our magic transfer papers, also called Color Me Magic transfer papers. And the reason why I wanted to show you these is because these were in the Bollywood Butterfly box. And I just want you to have success with this and show you how easy it is to do. But let me go through some of the things I've done here and what you'll need and what your possibilities are. You can start with any color clay. However, these images are black and white, so you have to think about how it will show on the base clay. And so with white, it really pops. And with white, you can come in and you can color it any color you want. I've used the chromatics and just started painting on there with these markers, which I'll show you. And then I used a darker color because don't feel like you can't, put it on a darker color. This is a red and it came out beautiful. I mean, you could still color on this. You could paint on it. You could do whatever you want. But really with the red, it's really nice. So anyways, you would choose your colors that you want to use, based on your design. And you have to cut out your design first. This is a little box, which I'll show you and give you a little idea of how I put that together. And this was just something I was playing around with. So the sheets have to be, you have to cut out the images that you want. It doesn't have to be in the exact shape or anything, because you can use an X-Acto knife or your blade to cut it out. Now, these are already been transferred here. These have the transfer paper on it already. So I'll show you, transferring it in a minute. But so if you have a design, say a butterfly, you want to cut it out as close to the edge as you can. You don't have to be exact, that's not necessary, but you do want to cut it out, in the shape, because the paper can leave a mark. If you see it's out to here, you will get a mark at the edge of your paper if you're rolling over it with your rod or whatever. So if you go as close to the design, you won't have to worry about that. Now, this one was a bracelet one, and it came on the sheet. You can see it's long here. So you would just literally cut out the whole shape, all the way down as close as you can to the piece, and all the way around. And the design goes face down on your clay, like so. And you can see I just placed it on here like so. So you want to roll out your clay to whatever you're making with it, whatever thickness or whatever, and it doesn't matter. You can go as thick or thin with the magic transfer paper because it's on the surface. It's a surface technique and it won't affect anything. So that's really all there is to it. These came with some butterflies on it and I just cut them all out. So let me move that aside. Let me talk real quick about markers. You can use, pretty much any markers that'll work for you, but ones that are alcohol based are good. You can use sprays on the clay. You can use paint. I used this paint and painted the box. You can use powders. I actually just painted the box, literally took my finger and dipped it in and rubbed it on here with the powders. That's all I did. Just randomly rubbed it in. And I got like an aged look that way. It looks really cool. So you can use whatever, you have, and just try it out. If you're not sure if it's going to work, then try it. You got nothing to lose. If it doesn't work, then you don't use it. So let me just move my all the stuff out of my area, and I'm going to show you exactly how to transfer. So you want to have a bunch of paper towels ready for this one. I just have a bowl of water. There are several ways you can transfer. You can do it under a faucet with just a light stream coming down. I know a lot of people get afraid of this because they don't want to ruin their project. So I can tell you probably the easiest way for you to get started with this so that you build up your confidence with, how it works and what you need to do, because I can tell you that every climate's different. I live in Florida, so the clay gets a lot softer here. And so the polymers tend to grab onto the ink a lot better. So I don't have to really work that hard to get this off. Not that you have to anyways, but you know, I can run it under the faucet without a problem. But if that doesn't work for you, get yourself a bowl of water, or, you know, hold it in your hand and start dropping some water on. Now, what I've done was I've taken the transfer paper and I upside down with the ink facing the clay, just laid it on to the clay and let it sit. And what I'm looking for is kind of a leaching look. And that's how I know it's ready. If I pick it up and the paper wants to separate from the clay, it's not ready. Now you see how when I'm moving this, the paper's not separating? That means it's ready. It's really got a nice tight, you know, bond with the clay. So I don't know if you can see this on camera, but as I put the water on, it starts to get cloudy. That's the paper coming off. And it comes off in like big clumps. And that's why you want to have a paper towel handy if you're doing it like this. That way, you know, you can just wipe it off, put it on your paper towel to get the bulk of it, or you can drop it back in your water. It's up to you. This just makes it a little cleaner. And now, I don't try to get every single fiber off the very first time that I transfer. And the reason for that is because I don't want to mess anything up. You know, you don't want to be, the first time you run this under water, you don't want to be too rough with it because, you know, it's still fresh and whatever. However, now that I've done this and I've gotten that layer of paper off, I can let this sit and dry, and then I can wash it again and get everything else off. So once it dries that first initial time, it's pretty much got a nice bond on it, so you don't have to worry about it. You can even touch it, and it doesn't really give you any problems. So there I have that, and it's transferred that easy. I got another one here, the bigger one. Let's do that one. But I don't know if you can see what I mean by leaching. Let me see if I show you on a piece, you know, a piece of the transfer paper. It's more white, okay? And so here it starts to become a little, you know, like a foggy looking, you know, so the oils of the clay have then seeped in. I mean, the oils of the clay have seeped into the paper, and so that's what you're going for. So again, we can just drop some water on here and just let it do its thing. Give it a second and you'll start to see it, the paper just like dissolving away. We'll just drop it back into the water for now since this is the last one we're doing. You can dunk it and kind of swish it. Like I said, you can run it under the faucet. Whatever works for you, whatever you do where you don't, you know, mess up your image is what you should do. But just, you know, the very first time, like I said, just be gentle with it. I mean, you don't have to like kid glove it, but you just, you know, you can see I'm just not applying a lot of pressure to it. I'm feeling the surface for the paper and trying to get off the bulk of it. Sometimes I get it all off the very first time, but, you know, I have more experience with it. Actually, most of the time I do get it off the first time because I like to keep dunking it and feeling it. But if you've never worked with it before, go easy and get a feel for it before you know, start to rub it too much. And there you have it. I mean, it's that simple to transfer with the magic transfer paper. This one I had a little extra paper on here, and I can dunk it again, and you can feel it. That's the thing about it. That's what makes it so easy too, is because you can feel the paper on there. And when you no longer feel the paper and you're just feeling the clay, you know it's done. And I mean, it's really simple, and I get really good results every time. If you just take your time with it, don't try to rub too much or whatever, you'll be good. So we had someone ask us also, can you transfer over Silkscreen? Well, I had never done it. And I had a piece of Silkscreen laying here, Silkscreen clay, and I transferred on top of it, and apparently you can. So this basically was still on raw clay. I silkscreened the base clay with actually the Shrine silkscreen. And then I took one of my butterflies, laid it over there, and transferred it. And it really looks cool. So you could plan your designs too. Like if you wanted a certain background that was a silkscreen or whatever, and then you transfer on top of it, or you could probably do it vice versa. You should be able to silk screen on top of the magic transfer paper. So you can do it both ways. But I wanted to test that out for you and see. So it does work where you can transfer onto a silk screen surface. So really the sky is the limit with this technique. It's really simple, and like I said, these came in the Bollywood box, but we'll have them available at createalong.com as well. They'll be under Color Me Magic Transfer Paper, Bollywood Butterfly. And we have tons of designs. We also have the magic transfer paper in just plain sheets. So if you have your own designs and you've always wanted to be able to transfer them to clay, that would be the ideal way to do it. You do need a laser printer. You can't do this with an inkjet. We get questions all the time. You cannot do it with an inkjet because, as you saw, it dissolved in the water. So inkjets are liquid. Whatever the ink that they use is liquid. So it would dissolve all in your inkjet printer and make a real big mess. So it must be a laser printer with toner base because it's dry and it won't mess up the paper. So I think that's it. I just wanted to show you that, and let me just show you how cute this box looks. You know, simple, just with a simple butterfly. Oh, duh. I took the Lotus Silkscreen, stenciled that, cut it out, and then transferred this butterfly on there, as you saw. And then, like I said, you can just come back with markers, with paint, glitter if you wanted to add a little glitter pen on there. And you can just have fun with it. It's like a coloring book for adults. So on that note, I hope you have fun with this technique and using magic transfer paper. There is a lot you can do with it, and I'd love to see what you make. So come on over to polymerclaytribe.com and join us on Facebook, and you can upload photos and share with us. If you haven't joined Polymer Clay Adventure, make sure to head over to polymerclayadventure.com. We have 24 classes in this retreat. It's an online retreat, so you don't have to leave your home. And we have prizes that we give away usually monthly. And this month we're going to be giving away a pen that was made by Tony Ransfield. So check that out. But you must be a member of Polymer Clay Adventure, and there's details on how you can join. So I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me.